Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with breaking news. A police officer from St. Anthony, Minnesota, is charged in the deadly shooting this year of Philando Castile. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Lisa Bedeau. The Ramsey County attorney announced about an hour ago that Officer Geronimo Yanez will face second-degree manslaughter and multiple counts of dangerous discharge of a firearm. Prosecutors say under Minnesota law, the deadly use of force against Castile was not justified. Yanez will make his first appearance in court on Friday. Castile was fatally shot during a traffic stop the night of July 6th in Falcon Heights. His girlfriend insists the officer shot Castile as he reached for an ID, despite the fact Castile informed Yanez he had a gun and a permit to carry it. Also, another big story people are following, the potential for some stormy winter weather, and they're preparing. Let's find out all the details from meteorologist Lisa Green. You look out the window now and it's nice out, so enjoy this. Changes on the way.
Yeah, today's the day to get ready and make sure that you have everything you need for a winter storm to roll through. That's especially the case in the Southern Valley, where we're shifting our focus for that heavier snow. We'll have more on that here this afternoon. But temperatures right now are so mild. We're at 54 degrees in Fargo, 51 in Grand Forks. So enjoy these while you can. We won't see 50s for some time, I don't think. Maybe if we get lucky, but we are running well above average. You will be dealing with a little wind out there, though. Winds have been really getting going out of the south, picking up, gusting into the low 30s in Fargo at 31-mile-per-hour gusts. Fergus Falls at 30 as well. We've had some rain on the radar this morning and now this afternoon. Still seeing it carrying over into the Lake of the Woods area. May not be reaching the ground, though there could still be a couple of sprinkles. Once that departs, you'll get to see some sun too. Temperatures this afternoon ticking up a few more degrees than where we are at today, or right now I should say. So we're looking at a really mild one, some places getting close to 60 degrees. So looking good right now. It's going to look a lot different tomorrow afternoon. We'll have details on that coming up in just a few minutes.
I want to remain in denial because it's so beautiful out there. Something can't be happening.
Right.
All right, I believe you though. Thank you, Lisa. Also breaking this afternoon, board members with the North Dakota University system just voted to extend the contract for NDSU President Dean Brashani. He was the subject of controversy earlier this year when media outlets complained about new media access rules for NDSU sporting events. The board just met behind closed doors for nearly 3 hours this morning. Be sure to watch for more details on valleynewslive.com. And we have a developing story this afternoon on the holdup of a pizza delivery man in South Fargo. And the way it happened doesn't give police too many clues into who they're looking for. Police were called to an apartment building in the 2500 block of 14th Street South around 9 last night. A delivery man says he was inside looking for the apartment unit when he was jumped from behind, put in a chokehold, and ordered to hand his money over. The victim was dropped to his knees but was not hurt. Police say he did not get a good look at his attacker. He can only say that he was assaulted by a black man. Now, this is the second holdup in that South Kmart neighborhood in the last week. A woman says 2 men with a gun stole her money last week while she was walking on Oak Manor Avenue, about 2 blocks from where last night's robbery happened. A man is in jail after a slow-speed chase from police in Moorhead to Fargo early today. Officers spotted a suspect vehicle from a disturbance in North Moorhead around 4 a.m. Police say 28-year-old Ahmed slowed down and even pulled over at one point, but kept going across the 12th Avenue Bridge into Fargo. He finally stopped near Broadway and is now facing numerous charges, including DUI and fleeing charges. New at noon, a screening glitch at Fargo's Hector International Airport has officials asking people to arrive earlier for their flights today. The Transportation Security Administration says the carry-on bag screening equipment is temporarily reduced. Officials are urging passengers to consider checking their luggage to reduce wait times in the security checkpoint and to arrive 2 hours before their departure. President-elect Donald Trump's transition team is in the middle of a shakeup. Vice President-elect Mike Pence, who is heading the transition, ordered the removal of all registered lobbyists from the team. And a top official who worked with the former transition boss, Chris Christie, also resigned. But the president-elect tweeted this morning that the transition process is going smoothly. Kenneth Craig reports.
President-elect Donald Trump's children and members of his transition team returned to Trump Tower this morning to fill key cabinet positions and craft an agenda. Former Goldman Sachs partner Steve Mnuchin is said to be the front-runner for Treasury Secretary.
There's a lot of things to do, and I'd say, the economic priorities are clearly taxes, regulatory, trade, and infrastructure.
Mr. Trump challenged reports that his team is in disarray, tweeting this morning, "Totally wrong on transition. It is going so smoothly." The tweet comes after Vice President-elect Mike Pence removed all lobbyists from the team.
He's putting together his team. It's never easy to do, particularly when you're coming in not having been in government, so let's give him some space to do that.
The president-elect is also raising eyebrows after his team told the press pool he was in for the night. Instead, Trump went to dinner Tuesday at a nearby restaurant. The White House Correspondents Association responded to the incident with a statement saying reporters are in place to cover the president-elect and it's critical they be allowed to do their jobs. Meantime, the company that owns several apartment buildings in Manhattan bearing the Trump name took down the gold letters after tenants petitioned for the removal. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Steve Bannon, Trump's controversial pick to be chief strategist, will be attending the Zionist Organization of America's gala Sunday night with major Republican donor Sheldon Adelson. Bannon is the former head of the website Breitbart News, which critics say gave a platform to the alt-right movement, which in turn gave way to racist, misogynist, and anti-Semitic ideologies. The company that's building the controversial Dakota Access Pipeline is suing the Army Corps of Engineers over its decision to put work under Lake Oahe on hold, arguing the construction's already been approved. The Corps says its review of the project revealed the need for more discussion with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Tribal officials say this latest lawsuit reveals Energy Transfer Partners' desperation to finish the pipeline by the end of the year. Meanwhile, people in Fargo and Bismarck were part of a nationwide protest called the No DAPL National Day of Action. Dozens rallied last night on the Veterans Memorial Bridge between Fargo and Moorhead. Hundreds of people took to the streets as well in San Francisco to show solidarity with those protesting in North Dakota. And in Columbus, Ohio, a protester even blocked a downtown intersection by parking his van in the middle of the intersection and chaining himself underneath. Some Moorhead parents are worried about mold at Ellen Hopkins Elementary School. It may be related to summer construction at the school when workers found a problem with the pipes. School leaders are not confirming if there's a mold problem, but did tell Valley News Live that air pressure and building quality are being monitored to ensure a safe school environment. One out of every